Hey folks, today is Friday, and it's the holiday season, so we're actually off for a little bit, but we're never not going to give you a Friday show, but it's time to look back after a really long year. Every year we do this, we essentially round up some of the biggest news stories of the year. We look at what you guys responded to the most, the things that got the most views, the things that just made the biggest splash and had the most conversation. There's a lot of news this year. We got 10 big stories, so let's just jump in and start off with one of the most recent ones, with recency bias here. E3 is dead. Big surprise, not really for most people, but E3 was already kind of dead. We've talked about this so many times before, so I don't really want to drag on or belabor the point. But we got earlier in the year the news that E3 was once again canceled this year. But now, at the end of 2023, we got an official confirmation from the ESA and the people who put on E3 itself that E3 is no longer. Yes, the legendary gaming news summertime thing that many of us read about in magazines and grew up watching on TV or on live streams and hoping to one day go to is now no longer a thing. It's partially because publishers are realizing that they can put on their own live streams, their own events themselves without paying E3, and really it's just a changing of the times that made this kind of inevitable. Plus, the leadership behind the scenes, take it from me, not that great. At least some of them, a lot of the higher ups. So ultimately, this shuttering of E3 makes sense, but it's still sad. You know, a lot of great memories from E3, some cringe-inducing memories, some incredible game announcements and moments. I'm happy that I was at least able to attend for multiple years. I am grateful for that, and I wish more people could have, but there are going to be plenty of other events and announcements and things to take E3's place. It may never not feel quite the same, so thanks for the memories. I'm going to pour one out. Pour out some Dr. Pepper for my homies. Rest in peace, E3.
That was my soda.
No, this was mine. What'd you get? Oh, sorry. Before we take more of a trip down memory lane, the other big news story from recent memory is the day before. The day before had a big, really cool debut trailer that, we were skeptical of, but the concept was pretty exciting. It could have been really cool if it ended up actually being what the developers said it was. It was like this Division mixed with The Last of Us, mixed with an MMO, and now it has released finally after so much hubbub and speculation. And the game is basically nothing. It's totally broken. It's barely anything of what the developers promised. And developers Fantastic actually shut their doors, like right away. You're going to be able to get a refund on Steam, it seems like, if that was the case. But this early access game that released was barely even early access. And they basically said, after the release, we couldn't make any money, so we're closing our doors. Goodbye, see you. There's a lot behind the scenes about this that doesn't look good. And unfortunately, as much as we're all gaming news junkies and we pay attention to this stuff, and you probably saw it coming, there's a lot of people out there that don't. I want to point out that the day before, for a while, it was one of the most wish-listed games on Steam. It was because of those debut trailers seemed so exciting. And this game went viral on platforms that maybe you don't even pay attention to, like Facebook and stuff. That trailer really made waves. So many people wish-listed this game and were ready for it. And it resulted in a mess, a complete mess. So I'm thankful that hopefully at the very least those people will realize that they can get refunds. This just happens, unfortunately. Was it a small developer in over their head? Was it just poor mismanagement? Was it more nefarious? We don't know. The developer was actually replying to people on Twitter from the official developer account saying, I don't know, it was our first time making a game like this. Shit happens. That is a quote from the developer. Shit happens. So there you go. Shit does indeed happen. And speaking of shit indeed happening, something to the tune of almost 9,000 game developers and game development related people have been laid off this year. It was a really, really good year for game releases. There are too many games to count that released this year that are really good. Even if it's not your type of game, there are too many games out there this year that release that are technically good. There's not enough time in the world to play them all, but unfortunately, with, I guess, the economy and studio mismanagement and so many things, a lot of people lost their jobs. It's not good, and of course, it's economic reasons, but also is it growing pains of the video game industry? It's one of the biggest industries ever. It's generating so much money, but are the models not right? What are the executives not figuring out? There's so much to it. I've also heard bubbling and rumbling within the industry that this is going to continue into 2024, early 2024, and we may see even more layoffs. Our heart goes out to people who lost their jobs, and my other concern is just budding game developers or students that wanted to make video games being scared away by this. things go up and down. Things are always cyclical. I mean, it's the same thing if you want to go out and be a YouTuber. Sometimes YouTube is a mess. Sometimes it's a little better. It's all over the place. So I hope if you're out there and you want to grow up and make games one day, like, don't lose that passion from these headlines. There's still opportunity out there. Things just kind of go up and down. They're cyclical. It's like poetry. It rhymes. Sorry for the meme. But yeah, in all seriousness, shout out to y'all going through it. That was one of the biggest and most repeated headlines this year, from Bungie to whoever else from Embracer Group stuff. So we had to acknowledge it. Our heart goes out to a lot of you guys who lost your jobs. But in other news, the other big thing this year, to totally shift gears, is Grand Theft Auto 6. Grand Theft Auto 6 had leaks this year, like full-ass leaks where you could see what was going on with the game. It was out there, a significant amount of it. And then finally Rockstar saying, hey, we're going to show the trailer soon. And then the trailer actually leaked a little early too, so then they put out the trailer. A lot of leaks, but ultimately a good, exciting announcement. A trailer that just teases, sets the tone for the next game. It is in Vice City and the surrounding state of Leonida, and we've talked it to death. A lot of YouTube channels have, so we'll link everything that we talk about, like even the day before, Grand Theft Auto 6, and reviews for other things down in the description if you want to check it out. But the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer made such a big splash that at the time of recording this video, not even counting like other social media outlets or game outlets that re-uploaded the trailer, the official Rockstar Games YouTube channel trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 is at 145 million views. That's the most viewed game trailer ever. It broke Mr. Beast's record for like the fastest viewed thing on YouTube in 24 hours, and it's up there in YouTube history. It's not the most viewed thing ever, but still, it's insane. What are you barking at? You barking at Grand Theft Auto? That's Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, Boston. My dog Boston loves Grand Theft Auto, and so do I. We'll probably be talking about it a lot more, but not for a while because it's not releasing until 2025. So we'll see you then. We'll probably talk about it more in the lead up, but yeah. As much as there were so many kick-ass game releases this year, there was quite a few hurdles that we're going to cover here and there. And the first one is the Modern Warfare 3 campaign. That made headlines for just being both not good and painfully short. Like 2.5 hours short. I played through the whole thing, so you don't have to. Don't worry. I actually really like the characters and story and stuff they established in the Modern Warfare 1 and 2 campaign. I just play those games for the campaigns, for like fun adventures, and 3 barely even made the cut. It felt very phoned in and rushed, and unfortunately it seems like that was the case behind the scenes. The corporation wanted to get it out as quick as possible to the detriment of the people working on it and the quality of the product. And it shows. Not too much more to say about that other than that it was a big story and like it hit mainstream news about a lot of the disappointment around this thing. And that's pretty crazy. But speaking of games that launched in a bad state, Cyberpunk 2077 this year made a ton of headlines for the complete comeback story. Now, we followed Cyberpunk 2077 from its rocky release to its updates, but this year was where it really finalized everything with the 2.0 update, then the 2.1 update, and of course, the expansion that's really good, Phantom Liberty. Now, I think some people, and I've seen it in comments, and I've had people write to me, they will never forgive CD Projekt Red for how they handled that launch. And I think that is totally within your right. You're an informed consumer. You can do whatever you want. But I am happy that there is a net positive in the universe that now a game that was bad is actually good. They put their money where their mouth is, and I did really enjoy both replaying a lot of the game and then jumping into and playing through Phantom Liberty. It's good stuff, and it finally feels like the game is fully realized. I always liked Night City. I liked a lot of the elements of the game, but there were issues, so now it is like a fully formed, full-fledged thing. But if we're talking about like bad PC ports and stuff, it is worth pointing out earlier in the year, you remember The Last of Us when it released on PC? It released in a really poor state. That went viral for a while for like Fuzzy Joel, Weird Ellie face. I was a big fan of a lot of those memes. It was a year, like many years at this point, like where PC ports are either like a little iffy or just not great at all. I mean, we talked about Star Wars Jedi Survivor also being released in kind of a rough state. It wasn't a disaster like The Last of Us, but still, that was a trend this year, and I think The Last of Us, considering that was like such a beloved quality game, it was kind of like a good thing to be made an example of. But now we're getting to the good stuff. Redfall. Redfall absolutely went viral this year for not being great. And it's really painful because it's from Arcane, the people behind Deathloop and the Dishonored series. And Prey, if you like Prey. I like the other Prey. Prey 2. I'm always gonna bring that up in YouTube videos, but hey,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But no, Redfall released, and it was in a technical mess for a lot of people. But for me, the biggest thing was that it was just kind of boring. Like, you could see little bits of the arcane magic there, but ultimately it was like a dull, lifeless game, and it just felt very cynically made. It felt really like it was made as a games as a service game, and then they were like fighting back and forth how to make it like that or not do it. It just had like no real cohesive vision to it, and the fun factor was missing. That's the most important thing. I always talk about it in videos on my channel here. Like, the raw thing at the end of the day for games is fun factor. Are you interested? Are you entertained? Regardless of what the gameplay mechanics may be, are you feeling something? Are you having a good time? And Redfall totally was missing that for me. And it seems like that was the case also for most people, because it was a stinker. It was a downer. They've said they're going to work on it. They have added things here and there, but we haven't seen like super meaningful stuff. I think the game at its core, there's too much to really fix to make it a complete... I think it needs to be gutted completely. I think they need to move on. But if you were one of those few people that commented that were like, actually, I really like Redfall, good for you. Don't let us get in the way. If you're having a good time, you do you. But yeah, there was that. But also, moving on to the other big story in terms of bad games, it was Gollum. I mean, most recently we've had the Kong Skull Island game and that Walking Dead game that were bad, but those were like bad in a different, like, more predictable way. Gollum was just bizarre with how weirdly bad it was, from all the choices they made to how it looked. And how it's just kind of like the entire game is you just like as Gollum in like the first half of the game really is you as like a shitty prisoner in the orc's basement as Gollum, and it was just weird and uninspired and not very fun to play. Like, I actually almost fell asleep playing it at a point. I'm not exaggerating, like that was a real thing. Although I do think it was funny, like the best thing they did was like when the game starts, the first time Gollum appears on screen, it's just him like throwing up in his mouth a little bit, like he's just like but I think that was also like indicative of like the rest of the game. It was kind of like a here we go, buckle up. And you know what I will say though, it's a testament to Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. As bad as the Gollum game was, I don't think this tarnishes Gollum's representation, like his image going forward. As far as I'm concerned, Gollum, the man, the person, the thing, is not canceled. Just this game. We love that weird, gross little freak, don't we? But the other big story this year, the biggest story, is really the completion, the wrapping up of something that we've been talking about forever, and that is Microsoft Xbox completing their sale or their purchase of Activision Blizzard. It's a done deal. It's now a thing. After years, headlines, hearings, antitrust hearings from various countries, lawsuits, and there still may be headlines after this, but now the sale is actually completed, signed on the dotted line, all that, as of October. So now Xbox has control of, Blizzard games, Call of Duty, massive amounts of things. So the real question is, what happens next? Obviously, this takes a little while to roll out. When Xbox bought Bethesda, we didn't see the effects immediately. It was more of an overtime thing. And with this being an even bigger thing, I'm curious to see how this is actually going to all go down. Is this going to help Xbox? Is this going to, get in the way of Activision Blizzard just being hated by everybody? Are they going to change things? There's so much to this that we can't really predict the future. But at the very least, now this whole debate, is it going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to be exclusive? All that is mostly put to bed because the agreement is signed. I was going to say in blood, but is it signed in blood? I don't know. Phil Spencer seems like a metalhead, so we don't know. Ugh. So that's really it for today. On behalf of Boston and me and Andrew, come on down, Andy. Andrew edits the Friday show.
Hello.
He's that voice behind the camera. It's not Falcon. Falcon is elsewhere. But from us to you, happy holidays, happy New Year. We hope that 2024 is good for you guys. But what are you barking at? The people? You're always barking at something. So that's it. Let us know in the comments what you think about the top stories this year. We couldn't cover everything, so I'd love to hear your stories, of course. I almost started petting you by accident. Excuse me. So let us know what you think in those comments. Clicking the like button helps us because we've been doing the Friday show forever now at this point, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. That's it, guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Pizza's on us.